before expires, I'm more than willing to say, go ahead and do it. But this brings up and I'll tell you where my thinking is on this, and it's on a liability basis, because if a pharmacist gets in trouble for negligence or is incompetent down the road, and a board like ours just continually allowed someone to take an exam over and over and over, failing, and then maybe perhaps passing it by a whisker, what liability does the board have allowing this person to continually take an exam that, correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner Guante, is basically for competence of understanding, in this case, the rules and regulations of the state that you're going to practice in, which are very dynamic and changing at all times, right? Yeah. So that's what my concern is always about, because I don't want to take anyone's livelihood away, and I don't particularly want her to take the Nablex a second time, but that's not our fault that she failed 5 times and that she didn't pay the transfer fee. I don't see how we're responsible for that in any way. So I think a one and done would be a pretty good idea. And I will go on the record. I'm going to make the motion to allow Nirali Kusal a 6th and final attempt at the CTMPJE. And do I hear a motion? No, I'll make the motion to accept that. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So the motion passes. Okay, so for the record, Heather, you can notify her and one and final attempt. I think the word final was in my motion, so we're going to keep it that. And it brings up another interesting, conversation is, what is the proper number? Is it 5? Is it 3? Is it 4? What is the proper number? I mean, in the past, we said, well, what's good for the National Association should be good for us, but maybe we become more restrictive. I'm not sure. Now we have marijuana questions perhaps on the MPJ. Yeah,
that's correct.
Think of all the Schedule 2 changes just in the last, 2 or 3 years, and all the scheduling inventory changes in the last couple of years. Those are yeah. So we'll talk about that later. I'm going to have a conversation with drug control about that, and perhaps we'll come up with our own steadfast state rule.
I think that would be helpful because it constantly keeps coming up when they get to that 5-time mark. Then it's a big ordeal. It'd be nice if there was one rule that when it comes to me, instead of having to wait a month or sometimes 2 months, if we don't have a meeting every month, then it goes before you guys. It would be nice if there was one set rule so I could just take care of it at the time, whether it's, yes, we'll allow one more 6th and then that's it, or we're going to stick to the 5 no matter what, however, whatever the case may be. But it would be nice to just have
the thing that I think is a critical success factor here is I'm not sure how folks prepare for this. Angelo, you remember way back when you and I took, there was a book. Well, we live in such a dynamic world that by the time the book is printed, it's outdated. Okay. And so I think that drug control and Heather, I think they do an exceptional job of on the homepage posting, once the new regs are passed, and we're not writing questions as soon as those are passed. There's about at least a 6 month to maybe a year. I would say like a 6 month to a year before we actually get to write to those questions. So again, I think that our website, our homepage always lists the newly, and right now, I mean, there's all these temporary approvals because of the executive orders due to COVID and stuff. And certainly we're not writing questions to those, and they wouldn't appear now anyway. Yeah. But again, I don't know if the exam takers, really, I don't know how they prepare, and I don't know how they're guided to prepare. But, the website is really the most current place for information. There is no book, and I think that's part of this challenge here.
Yeah, no.
Did you all see the live question? The question that just came through?
No, I didn't.
No.
Nothing came across for me.
Okay, so do you guys mind if I answer it or read it to you guys and you can
Yes,
answer the
yes,
question?
please.
Okay. So the question is, can the board consider following the steps of the Idaho board and eliminating the requirement of the MPJE for pharmacist licensing in favor of signing a testimony that you will practice within the bounds of the law like other healthcare professionals? Thoughts on that?
Other healthcare professionals where? In Idaho?
That's apparently, yeah.
As the chairman of the board, as long as I'm the chairman, the answer is no.
Yeah, I don't see
Totally
that.
no.
I don't see that happening.
No way. No way.
So as long as the governor allows me on this board, our laws they're all state specific. That's why we have 50 states with 50 different sets of rules, and a healthcare professional for public safety should be very familiar with that particular state's rules. And that's where I stand on that question. But thank you for submitting the question. I think that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it before the board, Heather. And
yep.
Commissioner Iguante, on that note, there's a new addition to our agenda, and we'll turn it over to Mary, who has an update that her and Agent Gina Abaldani participated in for overview of new MPJE questions.
Right. Because we're in, thank you, Chairman, because we're in the month of March. This is the time that the NABP executes their annual item writing exercise for the MPJE. So that's question writing. So Agent Gina Abdelghani and myself participated in two educational sessions prior to this. And that's been since the virtual offering. Normally we would have the option of going to NABP in Chicago, but we did both sessions of the education. We also, because of the virtual, they have assigned all the item writing participants a question writing mentor who we participated in. And then we did submit new questions per the competencies for Connecticut that were deficient. So we get assigned which areas that they need to have more questions from us. And now what happens over the next 6 months is these questions get evaluated by the NABP psychometric PhD prepared educators. And then they determine if the questions are acceptable. We have to cite the laws that refer to the questions. There's a very specific structure. And so we just completed that whole endeavor last Friday. Just to update the commission, and then certainly that will be in the minutes that we completed that. And so that's my report on that activity.
Any questions for Commissioner Iguante? Thank you, Mary. You know, I was thinking that perhaps a recommendation of what to do next upon failure of taking the test wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know how to incorporate that, but maybe telling someone that, you know, to look for live CE law classes or meetings, or perhaps you should go to this web page and study our laws. Maybe there's something, because like you said, Mary, it was easy, the law part. And Rick, you probably did the same ones I did. I think it was 100 questions. I think I got 100 on it. And in those days, if you had a question on it, they basically tell you what the answer was, because they wanted you to know the law. You know, this isn't tricks. We're not trying to, you know, I don't think the exam's to trick someone or to fool someone. It's really to have someone understand what the law is for public safety.
Well, to that point, Chairman, I mean, that's why they're so hands-on from the NABP all along, because there are no trick questions. There are no case style questions like this, but not that. Right. They want this to be just straight up. Do you know the law? Do you know the law for, you know, whatever, controlled substances inventory? No tricks. So yeah, that's why I just feel really bad about this person going at this for a sixth time, you know?
Right. I agree. All right. Thank you. Thank you again, Commissioner Guante. All right, sticking with Commissioner Guante, a request for CE program approval.
Yes, I did receive this and I reviewed the entire packet. It is in compliance with all the information that we require, and I would recommend that we approve this as written.
Do I hear a motion to accept Commissioner Guante's approval as written for the CE Small Business and Industry Assistance? I will make a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Request for non-resident pharmacy approval. I know there was an update sent out. Hopefully everyone got the update. Commissioner Guante.
Okay, and I have an update to the update, because as I'm looking at the list on the agenda, I noticed that in my final report, the very final one, Whole Scripts Pharmacy in Orlando, Florida, got cut off. I was a little too hasty in my item saving. And so that application was for a community mail order service, and everything was completely in order, and I do recommend we approve that. The rest of the report that you received, I believe, under separate cover, for the most part, again, this was pretty straightforward. There's just a couple of denials where we need a little additional information, and Heather's in contact with those organizations, and we should have that information soon.
Very good. Do I hear a motion to accept the non-resident pharmacy recommendations as of March 30th, 2021?
So moved.
I will second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Hearing none. Motion passes. And with that, we call this, by my standards, rather long meeting to an end. But, hopefully,
Oh, no, we have to do the minutes. You have to do the minutes.
Heather, relax. I'm on it. And hopefully, everyone.
Sounded like you were enjoying the
Oh, I
meeting.
was trying to get a jump start. Thank you, Heather. Hopefully, everyone had a chance to look at the minutes. If there was no omissions, mistakes, I'll take a motion to accept the commission minutes of January 27, 2021.
Move to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kristen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Everyone get vaccinated if you're not vaccinated, please.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Well, you're a youngster though.
Yes, but you know, I have issues. You would think it would be easier for me. Oh, see?
Good point. Well, I think they're allowing compromised 16-year-olds, right? A 5-day head start. Yeah, 16 and above. So.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that because I can't schedule anything until after the 1st. So.
Right, but I think